Welcome to my fourth and final college football second round prediction. We have Georgia and Notre Dame facing off in the Sugar Bowl on New Year's Day. Notre Dame has probably been the least talked about team in all of college football. Part of that because they lost to NIU in the second game of the season, and partly because they haven't had many big games. But that being said, this will still be a great matchup. For Georgia, the biggest news of them all is that Carson Beck will be out the remainder of the season, which he suffered on the last play going into half in the SEC championship game. And it is still beyond me why Kirby Smart drew up a Hail Mary and why Carson Beck held the ball for so long. Later in that game, we saw Gunnar Stockton, who is the starting quarterback moving forward, and he looked great in that first drive. I think he actually went down and scored a touchdown, which Georgia had not done all game long. But after that, he lacked a lot of talent and skill in many, many fields. However, with that being said, they did beat Texas, who was a quality win for the second time in the season, might I add. But this game and this season rests on Stockton's shoulders. Whether or not he plays well will determine whether or not they can be national championships or even go to the national championship. And while the season does stay on Stockton's shoulder, let's not forget that Carson Beck didn't play that great at all this season. He had a lot of turnovers, a lot of shaky decisions. So it's not like he's taken over for a Heisman finalist here. The bar is not too high for Stockton. I really believe he can surpass what Carson Beck did, and I would not be shocked if he makes this team look better than when Beck was behind center. For the other side, Notre Dame, their run game is their biggest strength, and they had no problem at all running against Indiana, who has the best rush defense in the country, only giving up on average about 80 yards per game. Well, Notre Dame doubled that. They ran all over Indiana and put up 190-some yards in that game. Whereas Georgia, their defense is 32nd in the rush. So once again, I see no problem with Notre Dame running all over this defense. However, Georgia's D-line is probably a little bit bigger than Indiana's D-line. With all that being said, this game will be a great game. Two storied programs going at each other, clashing in a New Year's Six Bowl. This could be the signature win Marcus Freeman needs if him and the team can pull this one off. With how Notre Dame played against Indiana and truly only gave up 3 points, it's hard for me to pick against them. But I cannot sit up here and pick against Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. Kirby will have his guys ready. They've had 2 weeks to rest, recover, and prepare for Notre Dame. And I think that Gunnar Stockton's going to go for 270-some yards, 2 touchdowns, and him and the Georgia Bulldogs will win 28-24 over Notre Dame and be moving on to the next round in the college football playoffs.